The war between the United States, Israel, and Iran has now entered its fifth day, with the conflict expanding across the Middle East. Iran has launched hundreds of missiles and thousands of drones, targeting U.S. facilities, energy infrastructure, and sites across the Gulf, while Israeli strikes inside Iran and Lebanon continue. At the same time, the conflict is triggering political fallout in Washington and across Europe. After 4 days of fighting, officials say nearly 800 people have been killed in Iran, while Israeli strikes in Lebanon have killed around 50 people. Here's the latest. Joint U.S.-Israeli strikes continue, hitting western Tehran, with large plumes of smoke seen rising over the capital. One of the major targets was the Natanz nuclear facility, a key part of Iran's nuclear program. Iranian media says there has been no radioactive leak so far. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israeli pilots are now flying over Iranian airspace and will continue striking Iran with force. The war is also widening along Israel's northern front. In Lebanon, the government has banned Hezbollah's military activity and demanded the group hand over its weapons, while Israel's ambassador to the UN urged Beirut to act quickly. Israeli forces have launched a new wave of airstrikes in southern Lebanon, including raids on the town of Qaim. In Iraq, airstrikes have targeted pro-Iran armed groups including Kataib Hezbollah and Asaib al-Haq. Iran has retaliated heavily. According to U.S. Admiral Brad Cooper, Tehran has launched more than 500 ballistic missiles and 2,000 drones since the war began. Iran's retaliation is also targeting energy infrastructure across the Gulf, raising fears of major disruption to global energy markets. Tehran has warned it will attack all economic centers in the region if U.S.-Israeli strikes continue. In Qatar, air defense systems intercepted projectiles over Doha. Authorities also announced the arrest of 10 suspected spies linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. The biggest shock came when QatarEnergy's move to halt LNG production after attacks on facilities in Ras Laffan and Maysaid triggered a massive reaction in global energy markets. European gas prices surged nearly 50% and Asian LNG prices jumped almost 40%. In Saudi Arabia, 2 drones struck the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh, causing minor damage and a limited fire. In Oman, the U.S. Embassy in Muscat has told Americans to shelter in place due to security concerns. Meanwhile, maritime authorities reported a vessel struck by an unknown projectile off the coast of Fujairah in the UAE, and another drone incident near the U.S. consulate in Dubai. The conflict even reached Turkey's airspace. Turkey's defense ministry says NATO air defenses intercepted a ballistic missile launched from Iran, which fell in the Dordial district near the Mediterranean. Officials said there were no casualties, but warned that Turkey reserves the right to respond to any hostile act. Meanwhile, several countries are evacuating citizens from the region. The Czech Republic evacuated about 40 people from Jordan. Slovakia flew 127 citizens home in 2 evacuation flights. Back in the United States, the war is now sparking a major political debate. President Donald Trump warned that big-scale hitting goes now and said Iran is in for a lot of hurt. However, Trump insists that regime change is not the official goal, suggesting someone from within Iran's leadership could eventually take power. Democrats in Congress are questioning the justification for the attack, especially after the administration offered shifting explanations about why the strikes were launched. The U.S. Senate is expected to vote on the War Powers Act, testing whether the president has legal authority to wage the military campaign. Some lawmakers are also warning the conflict could eventually draw the U.S. into a ground war. Meanwhile, the U.S. military confirmed that 4 American soldiers were killed in an Iranian strike on a base in Kuwait, bringing the total U.S. death toll to 6. The war is also straining Western alliances. Trump sharply criticized UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer after Britain refused to support the operation or allow the U.S. to use the Diego Garcia base for attacks. Meanwhile, the European Union has rallied behind Spain after Trump threatened to cut off trade with Madrid for refusing to allow U.S. strikes to be launched from its bases. European Council President Antonio Costa said the EU would stand firmly with Spain and uphold international law.